called us heretics. We called ourselves baristas of salvation. By the third month, revolution of skirts had turned into what the tabloids named the Vatican of Misbehavior. Pilgrims of pleasure, philosophers of rebellion, and desperate romantics came from all over just to drink espresso with their saints of scandal. Women cried at our tables as if confession was now served with biscotti. I used to say art was about observation. Now I realized it was also about caffeine. The line outside our café looked like a Renaissance painting gone rogue, mothers, lovers, and drag queens wrapped in smoke and laughter. Cleopatra stood behind the counter like a high priestess of hedonism, sunglasses reflecting the neon red of our sign. She said the smell of roasted beans reminded her of ancient temples. I didn't argue. She was right. Frida had turned one of our walls into a living canvas. Lipstick stains, feminist slogans, and wild brushstrokes that look like sin in motion. Every evening she'd take a shot of tequila, paint another miracle and announce, if God doesn't approve, he can buy a ticket like everyone else. Eva hosted a weekly workshop called Temptation and Other Fruits. She brought her serpent, now a lazy, sarcastic python named Karl, together. They taught women to stop apologizing for their desires. Karl hissed approvingly whenever Eva said something profound, which was often. Mary Magdalene became our therapist in residence. People came to her to talk about heartbreak, guilt, and orgasms, the holy trinity of the modern world. She listened like a saint and swore like a sailor. She had the gift of absolution and the patience of someone who had been misjudged for 2,000 years. Evita organized rallies, marches, and open mics in our back alley. She called it the Ministry of Noise. Politicians trembled, poets applauded when she took the microphone. Her voice could wake the dead, or at least the complacent. Her speeches ended in dance parties and sometimes in minor revolutions. Joan of Arc ran security. Of course she wore leather instead of armor now, but her eyes still glowed like embers. No one dared start trouble under her watch, except Frida, who once challenged her to a tequila duel and won. Joan said she let her win. No one believed her. Maria Callas turned our mornings into opera. She sang while making cappuccinos, transforming our customers' hangovers into religious experiences. When some complained about the noise, she declared, darling, divinity as a soundtrack. They didn't complain again. And me? I watched, I wrote, I drew on napkins. My sketches filled the walls, faces of the lost, the brave, the ridiculous. We were no longer angels, we were archetypes. Every spilled coffee, every argument, every kiss felt like creation all over again. It was during one of those chaotic mornings that Joseph returned. The man had timing only the devil could envy. He sat at the bar, ordered a black coffee, and looked at me as if we were the only two people who remembered the world before guilt. Still running a cult, he said. Still mistaking intelligence for wisdom, I replied. He smirked, I hated how much I loved that smirk. The air around him bent like reality itself remembered what we were. You know, he said softly, even God is watching your little cafe. Good, I answered. Maybe he'll learn something. That night we hosted our biggest event yet, the midnight sermon. It wasn't planned, evolutions never are. Frida played DJ, Cleopatra mixed cocktails called Original Sin, and Joan guarded the door like a bouncer from purgatory. I took the stage because every heresy needs a voice. Welcome, I said to the Vatican of Misbehavior. Confess nothing, regret less, and remember, perfection is the enemy of pleasure. The crowd howled, Magdalene poured wine into teacups. Eva danced barefoot, Karl the snake wrapped like jewelry around her arm. Evita stood on a table and shouted equality, orgasms, and espresso for all. Callas sang over the chaos, her voice shaking the chandeliers, and I'm pretty sure heaven itself. At midnight, as the storm outside lashed against the windows, Joseph appeared again. He stood at the back of the room watching me. There was longing in his eyes and fear, the kind of fear only love can cause. When the night ended, he walked me home. Neither of us spoke. The silence between us was the same one that existed before creation. The pause before God said, "Let there be light." And then, softly he said, "Leonarda, you're building something that can't last." I smiled. Neither could the Renaissance. My debt was worth it. Espresso.